this pilot process can help you make hundreds of thousands of dollars from your AI produced movies and shows. And honestly, this is probably my favorite step in the entire movie and show making process. And by the end of this video, I think I'm going to completely change your mind on how to approach this. But first, this is day 2 of 5 of the Creatorwood Bootcamp. Our goal is to take you from story idea to 6-figure film in just 5 videos. Each video is going to be around 10 minutes long. And we're going to give you some actual takeaways and hopefully just an incredible breakdown on exactly how to go about making a film business in this new age of AI filmmaking. Now, when I talk about pilots and AI filmmaking, it's really important to understand that it's not cheap to produce an AI film. Yeah, it's way cheaper than Hollywood, but still to make a movie, you're going to spend several $1,000s, sometimes $5,000. To make a show, you're going to spend hundreds of dollars an episode, sometimes even $500 to $1,000 an episode. If your episodes are more like 30 minutes to an hour long, you could spend even more than that. Honestly, if your episodes are an hour long, you might be spending thousands of dollars an episode. Now, normally I recommend doing shorter episodes. You're spending a couple $100s an episode. I recommend doing 90-ish minute movies. You're spending around $3,000 to $5,000 in a movie. And all of that's fine. My first book, I published 12 science fiction novels. My first book cost quite a penny to make. I spent $4,000 out of pocket on it. Over time, I got better at the process and I was hiring out editors and cover designers, maybe for like $1,000. But all to say that it's not cheap, right? It's not just like buying a chocolate bar or even buying a single movie to, go and watch. It's an investment. And it's an investment that I want to pay off for you. And luckily, this pilot process can save you tens of thousands of dollars and help you make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's what I wish I knew when I got started in storytelling, because spoiler, I actually wrote 6 books. I spent $10,000 on the publication of those books, all in one series, and they didn't sell. And I was so hyped about the series. I wanted to keep creating it. And I just thought, man, this will work great. And it didn't. I ended up losing all that money. The amount of money I made back in the series is maybe like $500. It was like a small, minuscule amount. And then my 3rd series, I finally made money back because I did the pilot process. I tested if my story idea was going to sell before I actually created it. So I want you to do the same thing for your films. And yes, AI makes creation simple, and AI makes it amazingly possible for you to produce so many different kinds of stories. But none of that matters if you're not creating a story people want. In our first episode, we talked about, hey, here's how to actually figure out how you can create a story idea that people want. But today, we're not going to just think about it. We're going to actually take action and test it. So you used to make a pilot by pitching studios, waiting for funding, getting exec approval. Now, you don't need any of that. You don't need a studio. You just need viewers. So let's explore what this process looks like. First is I want you to test your idea before you create. So before you spend time or money making a full movie, I want you to test the hook. Post a TikTok with your idea and your premise, right? Write a log line, right? A log line is like a 1 sentence max, really, about what your film is about that's going to entice people. And maybe email your list of readers or viewers if you have one already. Then I want you to run a $5 a day Facebook ad for a week. These are just different things you can do. You don't have to do all of them. But the key question you're asking is, does this story idea stop the scroll? It's what we call a traffic test. Oh, and it can save you so much time and money. Because if you can't get people interested in the hook of your story, how do you get people interested in your story? Like, even if you can't get them to start watching, it doesn't matter how good what they're watching is. So the hook is all about testing. Can we get people interested to even start to watch something? So we can get views on a TikTok, if we can get our email list interested in something, these are all good signs. And you don't need to really start with a huge audience or anything. You can go post on TikTok. You can go run a $5 a day Facebook ad and start to see if you have that sort of audience on day 1. Next is use Creatorwood to make episode 1. And even if you're making a full movie rather than a TV show, you can still make just the first part of the movie. So if your hook performs, it's time to generate a test episode. So create just episode 1, or maybe 2 to 3 if you want stronger data. Creatorwood makes this really, really easy. You can make a pilot we ingest your entire story in Storywood for $50. You can probably make, a 1-minute episode for around $50. You'll probably end up spending maybe $100, $200 to make your pilot, maybe a little more than that, but very, very affordable. And you can start to see, okay, does this pilot get people interested? Will people go from watching to then, on social media, like a little short hook about it, to then going and watching the pilot? And your goal is to actually see that they get to the end of the episode and have a high completion rate. And anything above 90%, meaning people move from episode 1 to episode 2 at a 90% or higher rate, is what we call, the retention point. This is a really good sign that people are hooked on your film, and you could then start charging. Because what's really magical about Creatorwood is we give you two things that other platforms don't. One is the ability to set episodes free and set episodes paid at any price you want. So you can start your first few episodes free, then start charging. Amazing, right? Because you can hook people and then charge them. And then we show you for each episode exactly the completion percentage. So we show you exactly how many viewers move on from episode 1 to 2, 2 to 3. And you can then see, oh, okay, I'm hooking people here. This is working from episode 2 to 3. Or you can see, there's high drop off. I want to improve that. Obviously, your early episodes are going to have more drop off than your later episodes. It's normal. And no show ever has 100% retention. But your goal is to get as close to as 100% retention as possible and identify where there's more drop off so you can improve the story. And you can always, change shots in Creatorwood. You can remove parts of a shot, add parts of a shot, etc. Step 2. Step 1 is see if people are interested in your hook. Step 2 is create just a short little sample. And now step 3, and this is really important, is test if viewers will pay, right? We want to see that viewers not only engage, but we want to actually ask them to pay, right? So once you've maybe created your pilot episodes, you can start charging for future episodes. And you want to see, okay, will people pay? Will people pay? And we want to track these conversions from free viewers to paying viewers. I give some suggested pricing here. Short episodes can be under $1, sometimes 30 to 50 cents, maybe as high as 70 cents. If it's a longer TV episode length, we'll call 20 minutes. We charge $2.99. Full movies will be $10 to $20. Bundles of a season of episodes will be, $15 to $50, depending on how much episodes are in a season. This is great. And you can start to now see, will people start paying for your film? And you can use this money to fund future episodes. Let's say you have episode 4 out and, you're charging 30 or 40 cents for it. Great. Well, that money now goes towards producing episode 5, money goes towards producing episode 6. So you don't have to go out of pocket yourself thousands of dollars producing the film. You might go out of pocket some money, but you'll be making money as you go. And then once you produce the film and produce the television series or movie, all future sales after that, you get to keep all of the profit because you don't have any more production expenses unless you go back and redo some shots, but you finish the vast majority of production expense. So that's really, really important. Now, other things you can think about in terms of testing if viewers will pay and getting them to pay. So yes, you can write your log line or short hook and test it with your audience. But before you even create a pilot, you could run a Kickstarter and see if you already have viewers or fans or readers, are they willing to fund a Kickstarter for your movie or show? In addition to Kickstarters or doing a pre-order, you can create the pilot. You're definitely going to want to create a pilot regardless and test, on those 3 episodes, are people really willing to watch these? Are they really engaged with them? And then obviously you want to set a price for your future episodes and test if people convert from free to paid. So hopefully this process makes sense. To me, it's a lot of fun. And it's really empowering because you can now cycle through different ideas cheaper and faster and ultimately land on the story idea that people are really going to want to watch. That's going to get you paid and that can turn this into a career for you because that's our goal here, to turn you from a story idea into a 6-figure filmmaker. So hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. With that said, I'll be back for day 3 soon. And don't forget, your story deserves to be seen.